I'm Rob Veal, have lived in Lewisville since 1969. The story that I'm going to tell is about Oak Ridge Park Golf Course. A lot of people know it as the Lewisville Golf Course. It was the first one here in Lewisville. But it really all began back in 1914. That was the opening of what is currently called Dornick Hills Country Club in Ardmore, Oklahoma. My grandfather was a golf course builder, and so that was the very first golf course he built. It's still standing today. It's a very historic golf course. And then as the family was being born, and he had a total of 9 children, they traveled all the central part of the United States building golf courses and ended up here in the Dallas area. But the very last golf course that the family built was here in Lewisville at the Oak Ridge Park area. Back in the late 50s, the lake had already been built, but this area was not really highly developed. And so the family, all 9 of them plus the grandfather, went out and began to plant grass by hand. And it took them a few years to do that, and a lot of the cousins that are older than me remember going and helping plant the grass and just being an active part of that. And so that was the late 50s. So the course actually opened in the 60s. And honestly, it was a goat farm. It was a place where if you just wanted to learn how to hit the ball and wanted to play a little golf, it was not a country club in any stretch of the imagination. In the late 60s, the family ended up contacting my dad, who was actually a Class A PGA professional, and they called him up to see if he would be interested in running the Lewisville course. And of course he accepted, and we moved to Lewisville in 1969. And that was the very first time Lewisville had ever had a Class A PGA professional. Back then we didn't have a sprinkler system. We had a lot of old equipment, and when we first moved into the city, we actually lived in a single-wide mobile home right there at the pro shop. I recall every Saturday morning, golfers would get there at the crack of dawn and basically wake us up because they're trying to get out to be the first ones on the tee box. But through the course of the 70s, one of the other brothers, who actually his expertise, he was a golf course superintendent. In fact, he was a superintendent at Dallas Athletic Club. He came to our course and actually worked for a while and did some more. And it was during those days that we actually installed the very first watering system. And that would have been in about the mid-70s. Prior to that, what we would do is we had these huge tanks that they would be on the back of a 16-foot trailer. And they would be pulled with the tractor. And so we would take the tractor with the tank and the trailer on the back, and it would be pulled all the way down to the lake. Now we had on our course some man-made lakes that we had built. So at night they would pull down there and they would drop the pump into the lake and pump all the water into these huge tanks. And then over a course of an evening, they would basically go green to green to green and hand water all of the greens. And that would probably happen 2 to 3 times a week on a good week. As Lewisville began to grow more, so did the business at the golf course. And it was really more like a family club than it was some organized business. Into the 70s, Lewisville had a golf team. We always let the golf team play free for many years. We would let the policemen play free. Pastors would always play free. And it was just a great home-style family business. It was never meant to be anything more than just serving the community. As we got into the 70s and 80s, Lewisville really began to grow then, and times changed for us, and it went from just being a casual family business to actually a productive business serving our community and actually the region. Coming to the point in basically 1989 when my dad was 65, the family decided it was now time to sell it and hand it over to a professional golf management company. I think the family basically laid a foundation for what we know as golf now in Lewisville. And where always it used to be a wealthy man's sport, I think our course made it affordable. I think our course made it to where families could come and enjoy golf and could bring their kids, and there would not be a problem with that.